All right, now that we know a little bit more about sine, cosine, and tangent graphs, let's take a look at each one and see if we can tackle these. So we can change the amplitude in the period. If it's a sine or cosine function, then the amplitude is A, and your period is 2 pi over B. So we're really going to need to look here and here to kind of determine that, and then maybe do a little bit of calculation. For tangent, the period is pi, so you're going to look to determine your period. You'll have to go period divided by b, whatever that is. The amplitude is always undefined, but this a right here will still impact what the graph looks like, so make sure you take that into account. Okay, so let's take a look. Here's our first one. We're going to start with sine. And I like to just kind of remember sine starts at 0, goes up to 1, and then back to 0. Something like that. That's one wave. That sort of helps me get started. So now my amplitude here, A is 3, so absolute value of that is 3. And my period would be 2 pi divided by 2, so just pi. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I say, all right, I know that sine starts at 0. And normally I get back to 0 at 2 pi. But now this time we are going to be at pi. So I'm going to make one wave. I'm going to get back to 0 there. Now the sine wave halfway in between goes back to 0. So I know halfway in between what I have here would be right here. Okay. And then my amplitude is usually 1. Well, in between these two, I go up to 1. Well, now I'm going to go up to 3. So halfway in between these two dots, I'm going to go up to 3. And then I'm going to go down to -3 in between those two dots. So now I have one wave, and now I can just repeat this cycle, right? So I'm just going to continue this on. This would go up to 3, 0, -3, 3, or 0, 3. And again, try to fill out all the way the entire graph. Make sure that that happens. Okay, so going back the other way here. I'm going to put my dots. And then do my best to connect this. All right. Okay, so now put arrowheads on the end, and there is 3 times sine of 2 theta. All right, let's take a look at another one. All right, so cosine. Cosine normally starts at 1. I switch colors here. Normally we start at 1, goes back to 1, so here's my midline, right? So I want to kind of keep that in mind. This time my amplitude is 4. My period would be 2 pi divided by 4, also known as 1/2 pi. So just reduce that, right? So this would be pi over 2. Pi over 2. Okay. So I need to do one wave. Instead of in 2 pi, I need to do it in pi over 2. Ooh, boy. Okay. So I know it's normally start at 1. Well, now I'm going to be up all the way up to 4. Okay. Now I need to get back to 4 at 2 pi. Or I mean at pi over 2. So right there. So what does this mean? Well, we know that halfway in between I'm down at -1. Well, this is going to be now -4. Okay. So then in between those I get to 0. So I'm going to do that. This would be 0 and 0. Okay, so now you can see I have one wave completed. Now I'm just repeating that from here on out. So you can make your dots. I'm just gonna make all my dots up here, all my ones down here. We can go back this way. And then it is helpful to also put these ones in between. And then try to do the best you can with connecting these on your iPad. Okay, so really you can see on this one, I'm gonna have a whole lot going on, right? So let's see how I do here. I think I'm going to redo that because I missed a few dots there. That's not so good. All right, and I'm going to continue here with the little arrowheads on the end. And there you go. So that's how you do one of those. And that one's got a little bit more going on, but you get the picture on how that works. All right, let's try one more. All right, tangent function. So the tangent function, remember, has asymptotes, and the easiest way to do the tangent function is to kind of put those in first. So our amplitude, this 2 does apply, but you do not want to write 2 here because remember the amplitude with tangent function really goes, it's just always undefined. And then the 2 will still impact what the graph looks like, but our amplitude is undefined. Our period is going to be pi, tangent is pi, not 2 pi, divided by a half. So this would multiply by the reciprocal, and so we would get 2 pi. Okay, now asymptotes, so the period is normally, I'm going to do asymptotes in red. The asymptotes are normally right here and right here. So they have a period of 1 pi. Now, and so you can see half of it is in front and half of it is in back. Well, now my period is 2 pi. So I'm going to have it half of it in front and half of it in back. So that means it's going to be right here at pi. Oh, that's a little off. I'll try this again. That's a little better. Okay, and then I'm just gonna make it dashed. Okay. So now, let's do, okay. So tangent starts in the middle here, and then normally at halfway between here and here, it's at 1. But now, because of this a is 2, it's now going to be at 2. And then here, Halfway in between would be at -2. Okay, so really I can do this again. I'm gonna have a dot here. I need to get as far as I can and fill out as much as I can. So I can fill out these 2 dots, but not the rest. I can fill out this dot and this one, but not the rest. So now gets close to that asymptote, but not quite touch. And then remember, this is a curve, so don't make it a straight line. Okay, and there is 2 times tangent of 1/2 theta. All right, I hope this is making some sense. You can go back and review as many videos as you need, but hopefully that helps. Good luck on your assignment.